coming to Haiti. We have been on Haiti.
We're here in Carrefour, Haiti, in Pastor Eddie Francois' backyard. The earthquake has devastated Carrefour. It's rocked Port-au-Prince.
In 2009, I was with Mac at a crusade. Christina Stewart, Impact Nations, our job was to go to Haiti in January of 2010, and the mission was to find the most poor and messed up place that had enough room for us to set up mobile medical clinics. And what we were going to do is do mobile medical clinics during the day, take people out to the streets and do evangelism during the day while the clinics are going on, and do an open-air meeting there exactly right near where we would be doing the medical clinic. So that was actually the goal. So we were with Mac and Pastor Eddie Francois, and we were ministering to like 2,500 people a night in his backyard. He's got a very large backyard, and we were just preaching, and God was moving and touching people, and all the stuff that happens when you preach the gospel. And so we were having a great time, and so basically January 12th, 2010, we have an amazing Haitian meal by Pastor Eddie's wife, which puts us to sleep. So this is what happens. So I'm sleeping. If you look back there, if you look carefully by the book table, you'll see some small pictures. There's a picture of the actual room that I was in, and I'll explain. But just 1 second right now. 3 years after the earthquake to the day, right now, there's still over 300,000 people in those tents. You see those tents? Right there. There's 4 pictures all the way over there, right behind you. There's still 300,000 people living in those tents. Okay? If rain comes, they get wet. It's not a good scene. 300,000 people of a country that has 9 million is 1% of the population. That's what their 1% looks like. So anyway, I just want to keep you, God is moving, great things are happening, but the reality is there's still 300,000 people in tents. And so we need to go there, we need to minister, we need to reach out. So anyway, January 12th, 2010, I'm sleeping. My bed is against the wall, and I'm sleeping. There's a wall this way, and a wall that way. I'm sleeping, and I hear, boom! That's exactly what I heard. And as I look up, the wall, cinder block wall, exactly like this back wall. You see that back wall, how it's cinder block? Exactly like that. Rips like this. This is what I see. Like you rip a piece of paper. As I pop up out of my bed. Like this. Boom. And as I pop up, a whole 7-foot cinder block wall, just like that, falls and comes crashing down on my bed. As I pop out of my bed, the only thing I learned in school, I didn't go to high school, I went to school. So anyway, the only thing I learned was if there's an earthquake, you got to stand in the door jamb. So I'm standing in the door jamb, and as I look up, the ceiling's coming down, like literally. Cinder block ceiling. This is not a tin roof. This is a cinder block ceiling caving in. And I said, probably not a good idea for me to stay here. And I ran. And as I'm running down the hallway, I'm screaming, Christina, Christina, who's like my spiritual mom. And I was there with her. And Steve told me, you better watch her and make sure she's okay. So I'm thinking, I'm going to get killed if she's not alive. And so I run down the hallway and I make a left. And I grab Christina. And Christina and I make another left. And that other left was where the bathroom was. The earthquake split the house in half, and when it split the house in half, it blew the back walls right out. So we stepped from the 2nd floor of the house to a 10-foot cinder block wall that was built during Aristide's time because of civil unrest. So you have this huge house with a 10-foot wall right outside of it, like literally like an Indiana Jones step away. Okay? If it wasn't for Max, his crusade speakers, They were under Christina's room. So what happens is you have a room, and it's almost like a hang down, and then under that is just space. So he used that as a dry space to store his large, I'm talking about large crusade speakers, large. If those speakers were not there, Christina would have been crushed to death instantly. So the house split in half, and as the house split in half, it fell onto those speakers. If it was not for those speakers, she would be dead 100%. If I would have been in that bed another 1 second, I would be dead. Complete game over. And so we got out, okay, and in about 30 minutes, there was about 2,500 people in his yard. In his yard, that they would have 700 to 800 people praying in every morning at the crack of dawn. Every morning. His yard became a refugee camp in 30 minutes. So that night, the Bible talks about that there will be a time where people will cry out for the Lord to come. It's in this book of Revelation. They'll say, "Come, Lord Jesus, and the time will not be yet." It was incredible how loud 2,500 people could scream. And every time the tremors would come, it would be saying, "Come, Lord Jesus." And it just left a real deep impression upon me. And I actually heard God said, "You hear that? I want you to hear what desperation sounds like." And so I began to ask God, why did I experience this? And so then God, began to speak to me personally about all that. And the earth was still tremoring all night, every few minutes. And you could hear immediately, as soon as the tremor started, 2,500 people started yelling. To make a long story short, that next morning, there was no one hurt from the house, except a girl's foot got hurt. But other than that, she's fine. She still has her foot. Mac and some other people helped airlift her to Miami, so she's fine. I think she's on her second kid now, Eunice. So she's doing well. But what happened is the next morning, the Haitians knew how much I love coffee. And so the earthquake broke down the kitchen. So the Haitians go in to the kitchen that was broken down by the earthquake and grab a thermos full of hot coffee from the night before. And they were so excited to give me hot coffee. You should have seen the look on their face. They're like, "We know you love coffee." And he's like, "Awesome coffee." So I'm drinking this coffee and I'm thinking, this is nuts. There's dead people. I'm just being honest. There's dead people all over the place, laying on the streets. The house next to us collapsed. The house next to us collapsed. The house in front of us collapsed. I mean, there's dead people everywhere. And there's children, there's mothers screaming at the top of their lungs the name of their children they were never going to find. And so I was really exposed to what real desperation sounds like. And so that was the first night. Then that night, that whole day, we kind of stayed in that area. Didn't do much, shot a little video, because we still had a camera that worked. My friend Jordan went in and got my passport, my wedding ring, 2 watches, a laptop, and a Bible in my briefcase. He risked his life to get my documents and my stuff. And I asked him, I said, "Are you crazy? What are you doing risking your life for material stuff?" Although I was happy he got it. I said, "What are you doing?" He goes, "You're my guest." You're my guest. That was his deep and profound answer. You're my guest. See, people with nothing know how to love well, because all they have is people. So anyway, to make a long story short, that night we sleep on the bed, a flatbed truck. And one of the things I remember is there was a little girl who got cut. Not bad, but just her leg got cut. And I'm laying in this flatbed truck, writing on my netbook that still had about a 9-hour battery on it. And I'm writing. The tremors are still going. And I'm writing down what's happening. And I just remember this little girl just grabbing my hand. Like my hand was safety or something like that, right? In reality, it wasn't. But in her mind, it was. And so I just never forget this little girl laying down there, just grabbing onto me like, And that was very interesting. So then the tremors keep happening, the crowd erupts. One time, one of the nights, the night the first night, Pastor Eddie stands up, and you know, I don't think it was like around 1 in the morning, and he just decided to preach out of nowhere. 1 in the morning, people are sleeping, trying to sleep. He stands up and says, "Your voodoo can't help you. Mary can't help you. You need Jesus." And I mean, it just really starts preaching. You know, this is real deal stuff. And so he just starts preaching, and it's just wild scenario. So then the next night, the night we sleep on the flatbed truck, we wake up in the morning, and that was then when we were headed to the airport from Carrefour, which is 45 minutes, no traffic, not counting dead bodies in the street and people all over the place. And when we left, and this is the only words I can explain what it looked like. There's a median on the side of the road, and on the side of the road there's dead bodies just everywhere, all over. Bodies, bodies, bodies. And I'm looking at that, and I'm driving, and I'm just crying, man. I'm just feeling like Jesus. And it looked like hell with no fire. That's what it looked like. Everything collapsed. Just destruction. I mean, like total destruction. And so we get to the airport, and I'm going to tell you the truth. Do you want to hear the truth? Or do you want to hear sugar-coated truth? You want to hear the raw truth? The raw truth is that America, when we got to the gate, we were, you know, they did not take us to the embassy. We were in front of the airport. And the American government did something smart. Here's what they did. They did not take all the white people out first. Okay, just hear me out. If they would have took all the white people out first, they would have had international, really bad press. Do you understand? Let me show you. An earthquake happens in Haiti, and all the white people get taken out first, and they leave black citizens, you know, American citizens there. Bad move, right? So you know what they do? They take a whole bunch of black people who are citizens of the United States of America out first, and they leave all the white people hanging. The reason they did this is because it would have looked really bad to their foreign relations if they took all the white people out. Do you understand? So after that, a Haitian guard says, "I need 52 white people." We're waiting there all day in line. Hot, nothing. "I need 52 white people." And this one guy goes, "What the F? I'm an American citizen." And this guy, and I'm thinking we're about to have a racial riot out here in Haiti. I mean, this is really what happened. This is no joke. So this guy, a black guy with a backwards black and white Yankee hat, looks at me and goes like this, "I will help you." It's exactly what he said. "I will help you." I said, okay. He grabs my bag, and I grab my suitcase, and we start pushing people, not Christian pushing, really pushing people through the, I mean, like, pushing people. Like, do you understand what I'm trying to say? Like, if someone pushes you like that, you want to hit them. Pushing people, right? We're pushing people, and he's pushing people with me, and we're pushing people out of the way. And he looks at me in the face and goes, "Tell them I'm with you." And then my religious button is like, "I can't lie. What am I going to do? I'm going to die. I can't lie." So I'm just being honest. So I grab the guy's arm like this, and he grabs my arm. And as they pull me through the gate, they're pulling me through the gate. He's with me. I got him like this. I mean, I really got him. And he's got my bag. So, I mean, we got each other. You know what I'm trying to say? And he helped me get through this crowd. So, like, we're in this thing together. They pull me through the gate. He comes with me. They shut the door. You know, and everyone is now banging on a glass door. It's like total chaos. And so I grab my bag and I run down the runway. And he's running down the runway. And we're running down the runway. And as I bust a right, I run. I take maybe 15, 20 steps. I take a look. And he's gone. There's no one there. And so, God is a Yankees fan.
Come on now.
Sorry. So I get on the airline, and this is even more bizarre. It's more bizarre. I get on the airline, and they go, "Welcome to Vision Airline, Flight 902. I'm like, "Vision Airline? Who is this? Who are you?" They're like, "We don't have any authorization for the State Department." I'm like, "Oh, that's great." Hope we don't get shot down in Miami, you know, when flying over Cuba into, you know, I hope anyway. So I'm thinking, I hope we don't get shot. This is what I'm thinking. Because they have no, this company, I have never even heard of them. Do you know who they are? No, you don't. Vision Airline, Flight 902, I'm like, this sounds like something out of a movie, you know? And so, to make a long story short, they had no clearance from the State Department to do this. They had no authorization, they had no legal authorization to take American citizens from Haiti back to the United States. And God spoke to me and He said, Adam, don't you ever put your trust in a government. Don't you ever put your trust in anyone but me. So I get to Miami, I go to the American Airlines desk and I say, I need to go to New York City right now. Right now. Tonight, not tomorrow. I just came from an earthquake. I don't have any money. I need to go right now. They go, okay. Boom, they give me a ticket, no money. Favor will get you, sometimes what money cannot. So, they give me a ticket, I get in, I go to, instead of flying to JFK, which is a nightmare, I fly into Newark, which is not a nightmare, and I was only 2 hours late for my expected time to be home. Then I get home and say, oh my God, why did I come home? And then I realize, because now I'm married and I have something to come home to. So then I say, oh God, I really want to go to Haiti. I want to go back to Haiti. I want to go back to Haiti. Now Haiti's on my heart. I just realized the conditions of these people. We want to go back. So to make a long story short, I wake up this one morning, right as we're getting ready to go back, and the Spirit of God says to me, Bank of America. So I'm like, Bank of America. Now, can I explain to you that I had just started an itinerant ministry, which means I had no money. Are you with me? So I hear Bank of America, and I said, this is bizarre. So I call my friend John Natal, who's a really prophetic guy, and I said, John, I hear this word, Bank of America, you know, and I feel like there's money in a bank account that I never put there. John prophesies to me, he says, there is money in that bank account, and it's for the camera that you need for Haiti. Go and take it out. Now, no one had my routing number. No one knew anything about this account, and I hadn't used that account in 3 to 6 months. And just so you know, if any of you have ever started a ministry, or any of you will start a ministry, it's not easy, especially during the worst recession we've had in 50 years. It's probably not the easiest thing to do. And so I go to the bank account. I don't even remember the number. And I'm like, oh yeah, it was the last 4 of my grandmother's phone number. I punch it in, and I go, yeah. And I check my balance, $438 that I never put in there. Took out the money, I went to Best Buy fast. Fast. I got a camera, and then I went back to Haiti. And the rest is history.